get up and get it together. Knew one day it would be better. No, I can't struggle forever. Plenty days I was in the past, man. I can't throw no stones up at a glass house. Yeah, from the bottom to the top, baby. Yeah, I can never stop, baby. Oh, they don't like me, oh, that cool. Tell them stop, hey. From the bottom to the top, baby. Bottom to the top, baby. Oh, they don't like me, oh, that cool. Tell them stop. I show you what hustle is. Yeah, make it to places you never did. Yeah, diamonds come from pressure. I've been shining since. Oh, I had to pick up the pieces. I couldn't settle with decent. I'm bringing sand to the beaches. I went through hell for a reason.
You are on Front of Bottom to the Top with your girl Princess with the Real, and you see I already got my blissfully cocktail. I'm trying to get out of the way lit. I got a special guest today, and I'm going to jump right on into it because y'all already know I don't do no small talk. So introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Mike. They call me Cheifeezy. I'm from Denver, Colorado that is, and here I am with you.
All right, so now I want to just jump right on into it. You know, did you grow up in a single parent household, or did you have both of your parents?
No, my mom and dad was together for till I was like 2, and then I grew up in the house with my mom, but then she used to let me go to stay with my dad on the weekends, so I still had the best of both worlds with my parents.
So talk about that experience growing up. You know, of course at 2 you ain't know no difference when your daddy left. But, you know, growing up, going to school and stuff, and not having your father in the picture, talk about how that affected you.
Well, it didn't really affect me because me and my dad had a good relationship out of, his first 3 boys. Like I said, my mom used to let, they was doing the co-parenting thing before it became a big co-parenting deal like today, with the child support and all that. So, again, once I got older in school, she let us go down, stay with my dad on the weekends. Then we come back, go to school, during the week. He get us on the weekends, so.
Okay. And so was your mom one of those moms who was like a single mom who was out here working all the time?
Yep, single mother working 2-3 jobs to take care of her kids and making it do what it do.
And so with that and, seeing your father on the weekends, knowing that your mom was a single mom working all the time, how were you as a child and as a student in school?
I was a pretty good student. I was a honor roll student, straight A student, and then there was times where I just, like I said earlier when we was talking off camera, that I used to miss school, and then because there was a time in elementary school where I used to have an attendance problem. I was a straight A student, but I had an attendance problem.
What was an attendance problem though? I ain't never heard anybody say that.
Yeah, because I used to have to stay home, miss school sometimes because my mom needed me to watch my siblings and things like that. So.
Okay.
With her working 2 and 3 jobs, and then me being the second oldest, I would have to take the responsibility on as the older sibling to do what my mom told me to do, or I'd get my ass beat.
So now, how did that affect you, and how did you feel, knowing that you had to step up and be kind of like the man in the house?
Well, I was already that responsible one because I have a brother who's older than me by a year and a month, so. My mom always seen that responsibility in me, so she just kind of always went to me first instead of my older brother for all the responsibilities that a man in the house, needed to be.
So having to step up and take them responsibilities, to help out with your younger siblings and stuff, how did that affect your schooling? How did that affect your mindset, knowing that you had to step up and be a man at an early age?
Didn't really have an effect because I was always an accelerated student from kindergarten all the way through high school. So it never really was about my grades or my academic achievements. It was just about more so attendance, like I said. But I never had any problems due to being in a single parent household and having responsibilities put on me early. And
so now, how was your relationship with your siblings, being that you was the man of the house trying to tell them what to do and stuff? How was that relationship with your siblings?
It was cool. They just had to get that big brother discipline, just like any younger siblings do. So we just put that big brother discipline down and they follow suit. They didn't really have a choice. Because I was like the the man of the house, pretty much.
And now with schooling, did you play any sports? Did you have any extracurricular activities that you was in?
And then, I was a fast runner, so I ran track. So, my elementary school days, we used to do like the 100-yard dash. I was the one getting the blue ribbons, things of that nature. Tug of war, I was on the team that was the strongest, so we got the blue ribbons in that.
Okay, so growing up through school, you was a good student. You really didn't have any problems. You was involved in certain things. Now, let's talk about, were you in any sports or anything? Did you play basketball, football?
I played football as I got to high school. Middle school I played basketball, and then I was already kind of like infatuated with this thing called hip hop. So I was playing basketball, and then that's when I started writing my first raps in middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah.
What age were you at that time?
12.
12 is when you wrote your first rhyme.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you grew up single parent household. You still had your daddy involved. You're doing good in school, and now you're getting into the music a little bit.
Right.
Talk about how that is working for you with going to school, with helping the mama out at the household. How are you managing everything?
Just being a strong, determined-willed Gemini soldier. Hey, what can I say? Then I come from a era where the parenting, was very stern. There might have been in-house issues with domestic violence or things of that nature, but I didn't really get to see a lot of that. I just heard a lot of it, like over the phones, arguments and things of that. Because as I got older, I used to hear my mom and dad arguing over the phone a lot about what my dad should have been doing or not. Right? So, but.
How did that affect you hearing those conversations between your mom and dad?
Just like it would any kid. You don't want to hear that, but then it's like, you kind of, you're a kid, so, you only get to say so much as a child because, the parents is always right when you're the child, regardless what the situation is. So, I just used to just sit back and be an observer and just retain a lot of things being said and evaluate who was wrong, who was right on my own time and terms. And I'm just thankful that I'm just one of them black men that had a relationship with his father. So I think that's what kind of kept me from really ending up, another statistic in the prison system and, another statistic in the streets.
So with your parents not being together, you hear a lot of stories about parents separating, and the daddy is there sometimes send money and stuff. With that situation, you say your dad was in the picture, like he was there on the weekends. You spent time with him on the weekends.
He used to go because when she pack our little bags, it was me and my two other brothers. When she pack our bags and send us to my dad, then of course it was a little bit more less strict. My mother is more strict, so.
And that's exactly what I wanted to get into. Is because I didn't have that experience. My parents and stuff, at times I was like, I want them to separate because they argued so much.
Right.
But so you had that situation where your parents separated and you had two households. Did you have two Christmases and two birthdays? Like, tell me about that experience.
Yeah, it was always the best of both worlds. So like my mother, she always, went out. She always went all out for all her kids. So. She worked 3 jobs. At one time, I can remember my mom working 3 jobs. So, and then when I go down to my dad's, it was like double birthday, double Christmas. So it was always double the fun. But then, like I said, when I would go to visit my dad, it'd be a little bit less strict. So then, the curfew, you got to stay out a little bit later in the summertime.
Now, see, talk a little bit about that because, boys always tend to say their mamas is more strict.
Yeah, how mothers do. Mothers is always strict about their offspring. That's just a natural thing. I think that's a instinctive motherly instinct type of thing. And I'm sure you know what that is because you're a mother. I just think that just comes with the instinct of being the nurturer of your offspring and just having that motherly instinct that any female mother species would have for her offspring.
But what I want to know is, was you taking advantage of mama because daddy was less strict? Like you was trying to get away from mama so you can go be at daddy house or whatever?
No, I didn't know because I knew when we came back to mom, it was fine, walking that tightrope once again. So, and then like But the thing is we never talked about everything we did at my dad's on the weekend to my mom. So, you know, she was always.
So hold up. You said you ain't talk about what you did at your dad's on the weekend when you was around mama.
You know how parents ask you, you know, well, what did y'all do? You know, you a mother. So
Well, look, what was you doing at daddy's house?
You know, staying, you know, he would let us stay out late. Like, it'd be summertime, you know, especially when school was out. Like, in the summer, we get to stay with him longer. You know, it wouldn't just be the weekends. I might stay the whole week with him, you know, and then come back to my mom's the next week and things like that. But
so you turned up with daddy and you turned down with mama?
Hey, you know, dad was a little less strict. So, you know, when them street lights come on, mom say, you gotta be in the house.
Yeah.
All right, then. So, you know what I'm talking about. So, when dad, you know, my pops, you know, long as we didn't go too far from the block.
You can still be out after the street lights.
We could still be out, yeah, after the
Now, was he telling mama you was in the house?
No, then, you know, him and my mom didn't have to, you know, he was the daddy and she was the mama. So whatever daddy did as daddy, we kept it with daddy.
But was you one of them kids who try to play both sides?
Nah, I didn't play both sides. I just used to just love to, you know, I couldn't wait to go down to my dad's for the weekend because I knew I was going to be able to have more fun.
Okay.
You know, as opposed to being at home with mom, you know, I knew I was going to have to be doing duties that a grown man should have been doing, you know, so it was kind of like, you know, it was a lot of times growing up I didn't get to really experience like really being a kid either, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I had to do.
But how did that make you feel? Because I know, for me, I grew up like that too. Like, I really didn't get to be a kid. Like, I had to grow up really fast.
Really fast,
and for me, like, now I use my kids to, you know, experience my youth shit that I should have been experiencing.
Right.
So for you,
and
you
I
know.
do that through my nieces and nephews.
Okay.
Yeah.
So growing up, you really didn't get to go out and hang out with your friends and stuff because you had to be at home and be the man of the house.
That's right.
So how did that affect you in your friendships and stuff?
Well, it didn't really affect me because I still have friends that I still got today. You know, we've been friends since kindergarten all the way through school and still keep in touch. And, you know, a lot of them just now realizing all that I've been through because they never thought that I even had to go through some of the stuff that I went through because I'm just now starting to open up about it. So.
And that's the thing is a lot of people don't open up about it. We taught as black people that what happens in the household stays in the fucking household.
Yeah. So that's what caused me to suppress a lot of things to keep from just being, because, you know, I was told, you better not go to school and tell your teachers, I'm going to beat your ass. Again, you know, I became immune to suppressing a lot of things and just keeping it all bottled up.
And that's not good,
which is
though.
not good, but I was able to be successful doing it because look at me now, you know what I mean? I'm still here. And
that's what I want to, you know.
Now I'm able to talk about it because, you know, I done overcame a lot. You know, I done been a victim.
So you graduated, though?
Graduated in my class, then came.
You graduated with a good GPA?
Top graduating. I was top 10 of my class with an honor roll scholarship.
With being the man of the house.
That's correct.
And with doing everything that you was doing.
That's correct. And no. Let's rewind a little bit. I was living in a whole different school district where I had to get up 2 hours early to catch the city bus to my school to get to school on time.
So your school was that far away that you had to get up 2 hours early to get to school?
To catch a city bus called the RTD in Denver, which is like MARTA here in Atlanta. And
so was it that your mom was trying to put you in a better school? Like, why did you have to get up that early?
Well, we stayed. Well, it was a thing where I don't know, for some reason, parents in that era and time, they would put, you know, we would live in one school district, you know, which was a better neighborhood. Because my mom, we started out in a studio a studio apartment. She had 5 kids in a studio and then moved us to the suburbs to a 5-bedroom house. So, you know, she just always wanted better for her kids. And back then, you know, it was a thing. I don't know what it was about parents, you know, having their kids in different school districts and all that, but that was our situation immediately. So me and my siblings used to have to get on the city bus
to get to school. And how was that experience? Because I'm going to be all the way real. I've never rode a bus before.
When my classmates were still in the bed asleep.
You was up.
I had to get up earlier, break my sleep, just to make sure I got to the...
And see, my thing is for me, like, I'm scared to ride buses. I'm scared to ride Ubers and all of the above because of the whole, the stranger danger stuff.
And so, fortunately, it wasn't as dangerous as it is now, because there was no Amber Alerts. It wasn't nothing like that. But at the same time, it was still, we're still those guys luring kids to cars with candy and things of that nature. But then we was already taught. That was one of the things we was taught. Don't talk to strangers. You better not do. So that was part of the drill when we left out that front door every day.
Yeah, that stranger danger stuff is very real.
So
I'm gonna stop him right here. We finna go to break. We gonna come back. We gonna discuss, the aftermath of all of this. Where he's going in life, where he intends to be in life, and all of the above. Go use the bathroom. Go do whatever you need to do. Make sure you get back to that sofa, cause we'll be right back to front to bottom to the top with your girl Princess with the real. You are back with your girl Princess with the real on front to bottom to the top. And of course, I have no time to play, but let me just sip my drink a little bit because these blissfully cocktails be on point. But I want to get back all the way up in your business. We stopped off with, the schooling. You did graduate. You did graduate, but you was a man of the house.
A responsible
young man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to leave out the fact that you was loving to go to daddy's house because daddy was giving you more privilege to do whatever you wanted to do.
So you can understand, how a kid that was, under strict guidelines at his mother's house would love a little sense of freedom at his daddy's on the weekend. So, it was the perfect balance. That's why I say it was the best of both worlds because, my dad was strict too. And, but he knew how to let boys be boys where, mothers is a little bit overprotective.
Cause we not overprotective. We see what's about to happen. So we analyzing it and we like, oh, no, we don't want you to end up like your daddy.
Okay, that makes perfect sense, but I had a good dad.
You had a good dad. He just went good to your mama. That's why they separated.
Hey, I don't know what the situation was. I just know it didn't work. I was too young. All I know is that I remember the split wasn't a good.
It wasn't copacetic.
It wasn't a good scenery, but it wasn't violent. It just was a lot of yelling. Because he never promoted, putting his hands on a woman. He would even get on his sons if he heard of one of us ever having any type of situation.
Okay, so he ain't play that smoke.
So he didn't play that. So he never put his hands on my mother. My mother never provoked him into putting his hands on her. So
she a good woman because I provoke you.
Well, all women are provoking, and she did provoke.
Look, you gonna say something like that?
Like she did. All women are provoking. Yeah. I'm gonna say that. And I'm gonna stand firm on it too. Because all women. That's a woman's nature. You know what I mean? It's just in y'all's nature.
I don't know if I agree with that because I am a woman and I don't officially agree with that. We don't provoke everybody.
It's okay. You just told on yourself and said you do.
So. Look, I do sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes.
Y'all.
Just a little bit.
Some just hide it better than others.
Yeah. Gemini. So, going more into it, so you graduated. You was a good student.
Good student.
So, after this point of graduation, what was next for you in life?
College, came to college in Georgia. That's how I ended up in Atlanta. I came to college. I was supposed to play football for Georgia Tech, but
what happened?
I didn't play my senior year of high school, so they redshirted me. Well, they was gonna redshirt me, so then I didn't even.
You quit before they redshirted you.
I didn't even continue going, filling out taking my SAT to go to Georgia Tech.
So why did you not play your senior year?
It was favoritism with the coaches, so I'm writing a book about all that. I'm telling all that in the book.
Oh, so they were playing with you?
Well, they was playing with the one who had the fastest time in the 40-yard dash. It was a situation where I was running 4.1 seconds flat in the 40 yards. That's part of the training camp, of high school football. They want to test your speed, test your athletic ability.
So you had the skills, but you felt like it was
my position was running back, which was a speed position. You got to be fast. That's why all running backs is.
So who was hating though? I want to know who was the hater. Who was the hater?
It was two coaches. I had a Jewish coach. He was a Jew, and he got sent to our school to scare the so-called bad kids straight. And then I was one of those kids that, one time they had us all come to the auditorium so he could show us on a VHS tape how he wrestled this bear with a muzzle But then I wasn't impressed because I'm like, okay, the bear has on a muzzle though. So I mean,
Hold up though. What I want to rewind and back it up is, he was there to scare the bad kids straight.
Yeah, right.
So you was a bad kid.
So all the kids, had to, it was like what do they call it, an assembly? When you go to the auditorium. So it was.
But it was for the bad kids. It was assembly for the bad kids
because our school had a bad reputation for. The school that I went to was Montbello High School, so we had a reputation for,
for being bad.
Basically.
Okay.
And whether you was bad or not, we just had that rep. So.
But was you bad though?
So assembly. Well, I mean, I was a boy. I ain't gonna say that I was bad, but I was a boy. Boys do what boys do. But I guess I had some mischievous ways about myself, just like any boy would. But for the most part, I wasn't that kid that was. I would in today's time, I wouldn't have been the kid bringing a gun to school and things like that. So I wasn't that type.
So you wasn't a fully,
I wasn't that
all
the
way official bad kid.
I just wasn't that type of a, bad kid because it's a different time now where they bringing guns to school and.
But what was your bad kid level?
So I mean, I just I might have been the kid that just played a prank on the teacher at the end of the year, like by putting a snake in the drawer. Or something
you was the prankster.
I'm just saying. I was just part of a group that kids
gluing teachers to the seats and stuff.
Just doing what kids do. Putting the whoopee cushion on her seat and she don't know it and she sit on it.
So it sounds like she farting and stuff in the classroom.
I mean? Just typical. Kids stuff.
So kids, I didn't do that.
You didn't do that?
I didn't do that.
You didn't throw no spit wad?
I didn't do that.
Let me find out you threw a spit wad and ain't trying to tell on yourself.
Look, I ain't do that part of it. I wasn't on that level of it.
But I was, for the most part, I just reunited with one of my high school English teachers a few months ago, and she remembers me being one of her favorite students. So.
Okay.
I mean,
So you had teachers that liked you, but you had teachers that didn't like you too.
Yeah, well, I was pretty much well liked for the most part. It was just I wasn't scared of this Jewish man who came to a black community high school trying to scare black kids. I was already from the hood of the east side, the roughest part of Denver, where it's like the South Bronx, New York or something, you know what I mean? But
so growing up on that side and, graduating, you finished school and stuff, how did you become, after school? Like, what kind of man were you after school?
So, even before I graduated from high school, I, got my first job at Taco Bell. I was 14 actually, and I remember lying on my application saying I was 16. Just so I can get the job. And that, back then, they didn't do all the background checks and all that, what they do now to,
So you got away with your life.
So I was, so I got away with that one. And then by the time I became 16, old enough to work.
2 years later.
I was a manager. You know what I mean? 'Cause
At 16, you was the manager?
I was assistant manager at Taco Bell, yeah. Taking care of my siblings still. Look, feed my siblings Taco Bell every other night. Because sometimes there wasn't no food in the house. So, I used to bring Taco Bell home.
So you was working at 16, bringing food home, helping out in the household. Mama didn't ask you, but you knew shit needed to be done.
Come on. Once I caught on, it didn't take long for me to realize, how to stay on top of things and ahead of things. And I'm a Gemini, so we usually ahead of schedule.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm glad, that you, and it's good to know that not only was you growing up, but you were still looking out for your siblings.
What I was trained to do. I was a good cadet,
So mama didn't ask you to do it. You was just doing it.
Well, no, mama, she instilled in me to be, but
to make it happen.
But at the same time, she relied on me instead of the brother that was older than me. Usually, you're supposed to start with the oldest.
And that was gonna be my question. I didn't want to be disrespectful.
She didn't see the responsibility in him that she seen in me, and she always shared that with me as I was growing up, which made me feel proud. But then I was like, still, you depriving me of having a life as a kid at the same time.
And that's what I wanted to get to, because I know you kept saying you had an older brother, you had an older sibling, and the fact that you had an older sibling, but you were the one having to do this, I know that had some kind of effect on you.
I mean, like I said, I'm just I was just that kid that did what my parents told me to do, so I didn't have to get that extra ass whooping.
Okay, okay. You were saving your ass.
I mean? So, because back then you can get your ass beat for anything.
Yeah.
Something was out of place or anything. I remember my cousin one time. My cousins came over. My mother's sister's kids came over to stay the night with us, and my mom had this nice glass end table, and it's like an octagon. I'll never forget. It was a pretty octagon glass end table, coffee table in her living room, and my cousin got to playing too much, pushed me into the table. I fell and broke the glass.
Oh, hell.
But then, the first thing they want to say is, Michael did it.
Yeah.
Blame me.
Yeah.
My mom beat me to like I was in the movie Roots or something. And then the next day later, she found out that my cousin pushed me in it, and then she realized that it wasn't even my fault. But again,
Yeah, that's how you go. You got to take the heat sometimes. You got to take the heat. So growing up, finishing high school, transitioning into being a man, talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, the responsibility of just working that job, I just kept pushing, and I just didn't look back, because then it was about my money. Then I was used to getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. So, just... Hey,
But was you spending your money wisely? That's my question, because everybody go get that 9 to 5, but they be going buy shoes and stuff.
I was working a legitimate job at 16, from 14 to 16 anyway, like I said, and then like a lot of my peers, they wasn't even working yet, and I was having a few more sneakers and accessories that my classmates didn't have, so then people swore that I was a drug dealer. So then they went the stereotype of, he's a drug dealer, he's selling drugs, but I knew I was clocking in on time every day to get my paycheck every 2 weeks.
So when you graduated, at this point, what was the next step in your life?
So after graduation, it was college, just like anybody with an academic scholarship from Coors Brewing Company in Golden, Colorado. So I came to Atlanta because my mom moved here a year before I graduated, actually. Then she came back to Denver for my graduation ceremony. Then my stepfather brought me, by this time my stepfather's in the picture, so he brought me to Atlanta. We drove. That was my first time driving out of town in my little Volkswagen Bug. I had a little Bug, VW, 65 Classic. And so we drove from Denver to Atlanta so I could get enrolled in college. So, and then, Georgia Tech was my first choice, because I think back then it was a matter of you had to do the SAT and the ACT. You had to take both of them. So anyway, long story short, they wanted to know my high school football stats, and I didn't have any, and that was based on the favoritism from the Jewish coach who had an influence over the black coaches. So long story short, I was upset about that, really upset. So then I transferred to Southern Tech University in Marietta, which is Poly Kennesaw Tech now. I'm sure you heard of that. So, and then they took too long to give me my books, so then I transferred to another technical school in Sandy Spring called ILS Tech to study heating and air conditioning.
Okay.
So,
look, you transferred, and you transferred. But what did you get a degree in?
I didn't get no degree. I just, was just
transferring.
Well, I almost finished my technical training as a HVAC tech. I only had like 3 more months, and then one of my closest friends in Denver called me back to Denver, or told me, that how much money he was making selling some controlled substances. So
you got involved in the lifestyle.
So that inspired me to go back to Denver to
get involved in the lifestyle. So your friend called you and said he was doing some substance selling and he was making the money. So you was like, forget all of this. I'm finna go back and do what he doing because he getting to the paper.
So, and he was getting it. So then it didn't even take me a good 90 days, and I started getting it.
Okay, so at this point, like, let me scoot down a little bit. Because we went from having a good student, somebody helped that household, did all of this and the above,
because I was about
to
my
now
money.
all of a sudden, you want to sell controlled substances.
Hey, I was about my money early, so,
So now you out of high school.
So now I'm out of high school, so now I'm just really getting it, and then I had a run-in with the police.
Of course.
I'm
gonna stop you right there because we already know when people start having run-in with the police, things start getting lethal, things start getting crazy,
Well, this was just one situation.
But you know, one situation turned into numerous situations,
Well, no,
unless the
just one
person get their life
situation.
right.
It was
So
one
we gonna go to break. We gonna go to break. Y'all go pee. Y'all go get y'all water. Y'all go get y'all liquor. Y'all go get whatever y'all need to get. We gonna come back and we gonna talk about the situation he ran into. We gonna discuss, you know, where he went after this. We gonna discuss where he going in life, what he wants out of life, and he gonna leave y'all with a message. Make sure y'all come back. Don't turn that channel. Make sure you stay on the channel. Okay? We'll be back to Front of Bottom to the Top with your girl Princess with the Real. You are back to Front of Bottom to the Top with your girl Princess with the Real. And y'all know I'm getting all up and through Cheifeezy's business. I want to know everything that he got going on. So we jumping into it, you know, from childhood to adulthood. We into the adult stage, you know, of the things that he was going through, you know, with childhood, through college, and all of the above. Now we're going to jump into that adult stage of the things that he was going through, where he is now in life, and where he intends to go. So let's jump right back on into it. I'm going to look. I'm going to sip my drink. But so jump right back on into it, you know.
So yeah, you know, back, you know, to the aspects of, you know, getting introduced to the street hustling and festivities, and then I started building my own studio because I was still, you know, doing my music thing. I never lost sight and passion for the music. So now I'm building my own studio. So
what's the challenges that you're facing? You know, it ain't easy just to build a studio. You're not just gonna just come out and just be like, "Oh, I got a studio."
Right, but you know, like, you know, I'm making, like I told you, I was about my money. So now I'm doubling up and tripling up on the hustle up. You know, the hustle and bustle. So now, you know, I'm buying studio gear, you know, that I normally couldn't buy with a working paycheck. So I'm able to, you know, accumulate and acquire things that the average, you know,
Joe Blow can't do.
Worker, you know, 9 to 5 couldn't do. So,
and that was on hustle money.
Yeah, it was good hustle money. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to specify that because you know everybody don't be knowing.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was working too though. I still had a job and I was hustling. Then it got.
What kind of job you had though?
I was working for Coors Brewing Company at the time. I went from Taco Bell to Coors, so now I'm working.
But you really weren't pulling a whole bunch of hours for them. You was more hours on the hustle.
I was doing my 40, but then, you know, after I got off, then I was doing like, you know.
Okay, 60, 40.
I was doing like maybe 15 more hours, you know, but making 4 or 5 times more money.
Then you was making on the hourly rate.
On the hourly rate, and I was making good hourly rate at that time. You know,
okay. I just wanted to specify that the hourly rate wouldn't get you the money.
You know, I need, you know, I had to have that job as a, you know, a legitimate means, you know, to make sure that
you needed something to back up that hustle money. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, just like any wise man would. So I started anyway, buying pieces of equipment here and there to build my own studio, and then I had a run-in with the police where I bought a townhome. I bought my first townhome, and I had the paperwork to the townhome in my car when I got pulled over. And when they caught me with this controlled substance on me, then they go to my townhome and they seize everything, including my studio equipment.
So you pretty much lost everything.
So I pretty much lost everything, but then I was blessed because it was an illegal search and seize, so they had to give it all back. But, you know,
they didn't read your rights right.
They did a lot of things crooked. So I had that one bad run-in with the police, but then, you know, at the same time, it was a blessing that came out of it because they had to give a lot of. They even tried to give because my uncle, I had to sign power of attorney over to my uncle at the time, who was the only one I could trust, you know, based on what was all involved with the money and the assets and things of that nature. So my uncle even explained to me, like, when he went to go pick up my property, you know, that they tried to even give him some of the drugs back.
Oh, wow.
To give him a case, to put a case on him.
Oh, wow. So they were trying to set motherfuckers up.
Just like they do every day.
Okay.
And this is the Aurora Police, by the way. Shout out Aurora Police Department, who just recently killed a young kid by the name of Elijah, you know, as he was walking.
And shout out to the motherfuckers for not being shit, not being about shit, not doing shit.
Now, I'm from Denver. I've never had a fingerprint or a mug shot taken with the Denver police to this day.
But they ain't shit though, is what you telling me.
But the Aurora police, that's a different district.
Okay,
so that would
they're
be like
different district.
that would be like Cobb County versus Atlanta.
Okay, yeah,
Something
Cobb
like that.
County ain't shit.
Okay,
okay,
so you said it.
We get it. I know. I live in Cobb County. They ain't shit. They ain't never gonna be shit. They ain't gonna never amount to shit.
Yeah,
okay.
So anyway, yeah, it was a situation where they gave the stuff back and
they gave it back?
Yeah, they gave all my stuff back and then they tried to get the drugs back. My uncle told me, I'm not that dumb. Y'all gonna give me back some drugs that y'all gonna let me pull around the corner then bust me for?
Again?
Like, come on. So anyway, got most of my stuff back and then like I had my brother, one of my brother, he's 18 months younger than me, but I had him, since he was my DJ at the time, I let him take control of all the equipment. And this was one of the first experiences of me having a situation where I couldn't even trust my own sibling, because then what my brother does with the equipment, he goes and pawns and sells it all.
Come on now.
After I went through all I went through to acquire.
He sold your stuff.
All my stuff, and then went back, doubled back on my uncle and told him that I said that he could have my jewelry. So took all my jewels, diamonds, and everything. And
now, what did that do for your relationship with your brother? Like, for real?
To this day, we don't speak. So it's
I feel you, because he was
serious.
getting rid of your shit.
And then, gonna call me materialistic, though, but go steal my materialistic things. But I'm materialistic, but I ain't never took nothing materialistic.
And he wasn't apologetic about anything.
To this day, won't even own up to. Some people some people would rather go to their grave than apologize to you.
That shit crazy, because it's like if you would have apologized, we could be good and you could be getting money.
Apology, is everything to somebody who you done wrong. But waiting for that apology, you know what I mean? You might be waiting for a lifetime, because some people just ain't got it in them. They'll rather go to their grave, So.
But for you because that is your sibling.
Yep. So it caused bad blood between us. And then, I'm the type of person that I'm like Rick Ross. God forgives, I don't. So,
So you like, fuck you now at this point.
Because then, then I tried to play the forgiveness game, and then all I was doing was setting myself up to be done wrong again. So now, we just cut all that out. Now I got more of a peaceful life and a peace of mind now.
But your peaceful life means not fucking with some of your siblings.
Damn right. And some close so-called friends too, just people in general.
And so that's the other part of it, with transitioning and moving up in the career that you're in, in the industry and stuff. You lose people along the way.
And then you gain more beautiful people along the way as well. Because for
that.
every loss is a beautiful gain.
Speak that.
So, I done met people like yourself. I done met people that I ain't even been knowing 2 years that done more for me than my own family.
Speak that. A lot of people don't speak on that. They always want to speak on, the people who they grew up with, who looked out for them and stuff. But it's people who looking out for you who wasn't actually in your circle in the beginning.
Sure wasn't, and they done treated me way better than my immediate family members. So then that's where I had to start reevaluating what means and who means more to me in life. So, and then here I am now I'm doing more with less with my music, but now more is to come now that I got the right team and people surrounding
now, like, speak on a little bit of what you got going now, what's going on in your life right now in this moment, because you done been through some things.
Well, and then I just did the Tampa thing for Too Hot Radio. Shout out Too Hot Radio. And then I'm working on a couple of new singles that I'm getting ready to release on all platforms. So one of my singles is called So Mile High With It, so be on the lookout for that. And the second single is called You Got It. We're shooting a video in Miami for that. And, yeah.
And now, so I know I done talked to you on other platforms, and I know you working with some major people. You got some major connections.
Yeah, we connected a little bit, a little something.
So like...
I don't like the name drop,
And I like that about you, and that's why I ain't trying to get you the name drop throughout the interview.
Yeah.
But I like that about you, but at the same time, it's like, I know you got some connections. I know you working with Grammy Award-winning motherfuckers. So, how does that feel for you, knowing that they believed in you enough to want to work with you?
Yeah, it's a good feeling to be able to work with people, and then I always hear, just like my engineer was telling me the other day, he was like, you different from a lot of artists that I work with, and it's just good to just hear that. Just that different. I'm just different. But then, Gemini's, that's a trait that we quite naturally possess. So, again, it always feels good. That's sometimes it be the littlest thing coming from a person that may mean the world to a person. So just hearing that alone just lets me know that, you know, I'm on the right track with my journey.
So what is your plans? What is the next steps? I know you got music dropping.
So
You
I
got
got,
heat.
so I
You
got
working
music
with
coming.
major
So I
producers.
got music and visuals coming because I don't really have that many visuals out. So I got a lot of visuals upcoming, and then a lot of shows coming. So just get ready for.
And I know you got a Grammy reward producer that you working with right now. And I know you ain't one of them name droppers, so I ain't even gonna tell you to drop the name. But the fact of the matter is you working with people who's connected in the industry. You're building who you are as a person. You're building who you are as an artist in the industry.
And then not only that, as an artist, then I got my own brand too, which is Mile High City by Nature, clothing culture. So look for a lot of that to come in the near future. And we got the women's line coming too. So I got a few garments for you as well.
And see, and that's what I fucks with. I fucks with people who is not only trying to innovate and do new things on their own, but making it good for not only the men, but the women as well.
And the kids. And we got the kids line coming after the women. So, you know, we're going to cater to the ladies. Then we're going to work on the kids.
So if after everything that we've heard of all of the stuff that you've been through in life, all of the things that you dealt with, having to be the man in the house at an early age and helping, help out with your siblings and everything, still trying to produce, your career and everything that you want to do, dealing with the things that you dealt with in high school and life and everything like that. If you had to leave the people with something, what would you leave them with?
Just never give up. If you got a passion and a knack for something, just don't never let all the obstacles of hate, jealousy, envy, politics, all that stuff's going to get thrown in your obstacle. It's not a smooth journey. It's not a smooth ride. It's going to be some bumps, some turbulence. You just got to have that strong will and determination to just keep pushing through. So, and I feel like, I got a breath of fresh air from ripping that microphone in Tampa. And, that just lets me know, I'm on to something.
And so, here's the thing is we didn't get into the deep, in-depth thing of everything that this man has been through. He is connected to many channels, many people, many different people in the industry he's worked with, he's talked to, he's in politics with, all of the above, and so through all of his trials and tribulations with dealing with different people in the industry, not only dealing with people in the industry, but growing up and, having to be like the man in the household, try to help his mom out the most he can with his siblings, everything that he dealt with, from where he came from to where he is now, where he intends to go, all of the above, with all of that stuff that you've dealt with, you continue to go strong, you continue to, strive for the things that you believed in life. With all of that being said, I want people to be able to continue to follow you, continue to see your transition, continue to see what you're doing in life, what you got going, what's up and next coming. How can people find you and reach you to be able to, keep in touch with what you got going?
Well, I'm on, all the major platforms, IG being one of them. So you can follow me on IG at Mile High City Poster Boy _ in between Mile High City. I'm on SoundCloud, YouTube, Reverb Nation. Those are pretty much all the major platforms right now.
So y'all continue to connect with him, continue to see where he's going in life. He did this interview with me today, telling his life story, to inspire and motivate other people. But there's always things to come in life. There's always other challenges that he's going to experience, other things that he's going to go through that could motivate and inspire you to keep going in life. So make sure you follow him on all his platforms. Make sure you continue to tune in to From the Bottom to the Top with your girl, Princess with the Real, because I'm continuing to sit down with artists, people, business people from different walks of life to discuss their story, the things that they've been through to inspire and motivate other people. So I am so appreciative to you coming down and sitting down with me on From the Bottom to the Top, telling your story, because your story is going to inspire so many people because you never gave up.
And I appreciate you so much for having me, Princess. Appreciate it.
And for real, I appreciate people who don't give up in life because, we all have trials and tribulations. We all go through ups and downs, struggles and pains, all of the motherfucking shit that keep you in your motherfucking lane.
I'm peeping that. That's
so we all have challenges that we go through, but we have to keep pushing forward. We have to keep doing what we need to do in life to continue to stand strong and to inspire and motivate other people. Your story is inspiring, not just because you grew up as a child having to be in the man in the house and, help out with your, helping your mom make sure your siblings, maintain and do everything they need to do, but you also made your way through the music industry. You also connected with different people. One thing that he did not touch on that I know about what he got going on in life is that he is connected with different people in the industry, major people in the industry. If you continue to follow him and see everything that he's going on in life, everybody that he's connected to, see his other interviews that he's had with other people about the different things that he has going on in life and the different things that he has transitioned into life, you will understand the man that he is. And you will understand that he is very inspiring. He has a lot of motivation for those people who are getting into the industry, who have been through the things that he's been through, have dealt with the things that he's dealt with, and continue to move forward. So make sure you tune in to everything that he has going. Go through his social medias. Go through all his platforms where he told you can find him at. Because I'm telling you, this is somebody that you want to keep in contact with and understand what he's going through and see where he's intending to go. Because where he's intending to go could help to inspire and motivate you to keep going in the lane that you need to go. Through everything that he's been through, he continued to go strong. He continued to follow his dreams, and he is now working towards the things that he wants in life. Regardless of all the obstacles that came in his way, he's not giving up. So I don't want you to give up. Keep tuning in to Front of Bottom to the Top with your girl Princess with the Real. This was another great episode. I appreciate you for coming out, telling your story, inspiring and motivating other people through the things that you went through in life. What you don't realize is you've been through a lot of challenges and stuff that others can learn from. You stepped up to be a man in the household when others feel like, that ain't my position, right. But you play that position. So I appreciate you for telling your story and inspiring and motivating others to understand that we all have trials and tribulations. You keep moving forward, you keep going after your dreams, and you can make everything you want come true.
That's real.
So, tune into this man. Tune into this man. Front of Bottom to the Top with your girl Princess with the Real. I'm finna sip on my cocktails because I'm trying to get all the way lit before I leave this bed.
Yeah. I done been down before. I had to get up and get it together. Knew one day it would be better.